Soothing. Okay. Good. We can make a nice argument. Something else. Feelings. We're not analyzing just music, just the words, what makes you feel. You know, I'm sure there's somebody heard here, maybe that's your computer, it's like, Rastaman? What does that mean? That's a Hebrew song. Okay.
Yeah, and as someone who does not speak Hebrew, whenever I'm in temple and I'm in shul, listening to the songs, listening to the prayers, I'm jealous. I wish I did know what was going on, but I just kind of have to feel it out. Maybe someone who speaks Hebrew can speak to what it's like to go to shul and like listen to someone read Torah and know exactly what they're saying. Well, I'm just like, oh, I can follow along.
We can't understand.
Wait, you can't?
Yeah,
No.
Why?
Because
It's biblical.
Hebrew, not modern. But it's Hebrew, like a word by word we can understand. Sometimes
it's like you start singing Beowulf to us.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me tell you a secret.
It's like
Tell me
singing
if I'm wrong,
Beowulf.
Israelis. Even if they understand, they don't really dwell into it.
It doesn't mean it.
They don't even think about the meaning. Even if they understand modernity, I give thanks. What does it mean? I don't know. Okay? Am I right or wrong?
No, for me, just the first two phrases with the second part of after Modani, the second sentence in the song, in this song, is he says, I think...
You return my soul.
No, then Lefanai, Ima Adama. So the difference between Lefanecha and Lefanai in Hebrew is to you for a guy and to you for a girl. And for me, that was the second. I got chills in that second. I was like, whoa, he's entering, like he's putting some really twists. Like I don't want to use any nouns of it. Weird, interesting, amazing. I was overwhelmed. I had chills, and then he thanked Mother Nature or Mother Earth.
Okay, so now we're again, thank you for the great transition. We're going from the feelings to the intellectual. So for those, and I'm going to get you to the confusion because I'm sure a lot of it's confusing, and I'll tell you the truth. I wrote it 4 years ago and I feel confused about it. I don't feel the same today. But something, it was a moment, again, it's all about experiences. And this experience is mine right now. I own this modani, in the meaning that this is my connection. That's all, it's a personal thing. It's not about sharing. I don't necessarily write it to share. I write it for myself. But for those who don't understand now, let's just get into issues a little bit. Those who don't understand the Hebrew. Modani lefanecha means I give thanks to you. Lefanecha, and again, my inspiration was always some kind of educational. Because that I taught kids. And I felt, one of my goals in teaching, in religious school, Sunday school, is the meaning of God. Because us Israelis, we're lacking of that. We study Bible for years in school, but nobody talks about it. What does God mean to you? And then I come to Reform Synagogue in the States, and kids like in 3rd grade, first grade, kindergarten, what does God mean to you? And they paint, and I'm like, that's great. What's wrong with education in Israel? That's what I feel. So, modani lefanecha means I give thanks to you, and lefanecha is a male. It's masculine, lefanecha. Okay? Modani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. I feel, melech chai v'kayam is I give thanks to you, holy king, or everlasting king. Okay? I feel to myself, wait, when I pray, I don't think about a king. Was king is my God? I don't think like that. I don't think about man, and I don't think it's correct even to teach people that there is a man. What is God for me? That was my question. And I revised it with myself. And I found that this song was written in the mountains of Brazil when I was traveling, that I find what we call God, what I call God, in actually feminine form in Hebrew, which is lefanayich, which is nature. So I add a sentence, instead of, I say, Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam, I give thanks to you, everlasting king. And I say, Modeh ani lefanayich, I give thanks to you, with a feminine approach. Mother Nature, heart of creation. So, this is what the song is talking about. And before we get into confusion, I want to ask a question. Who do we pray to? That is the essence. Now we start with the hymn. Hymn is just a hymn. It's just a song. Now it's something a little more. If we pray, and praying does not mean reading Modeh Ani. We all pray. Every day in our lives we pray. We all talk to someone. I don't know when. I don't know if it's about winning a basketball. I wish you're going to win. We all talk to someone. Or someone, somebody, I don't know how you want to say it. Something. We all talk. What is it? Who is it? What is this form? Yes?
I pray to God and I pray to myself. So during the Amidah, during the silent prayer, I kind of just remind myself what's important to me. I'm not really speaking to God at that time. I'm just kind of, or even just like praying for strength in myself to get through the next week. Like simple things, but it's just my time to myself.
Okay, so I'll make it a little hard for yourself for a second. Just an example. You say you pray to God and you pray to yourself. Is this different?
Yeah, because I do believe in God and I do pray to God during services, but that time I take just to like pray within myself for personal values. I guess it's kind of hard to understand.
No, I understand you, and I'll ask again. And again, it's not just necessarily about you. I just because it's a approach that I had, and I guess a lot of people. You say I pray to God and I pray to yourself. Are they separated?
They are separate.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
When I was younger, someone was talking about Buddhism, I think, and they said that it's about believing in an inner peace and praying to an inner peace. And since then, I've researched and I've looked into Buddhism, and that doesn't seem to be what it's about. But that's something that I've always kept with me and something that I believe in, whether it's Judaism or Buddhism or whatever. I just think it's really important to pray to an inner peace. So I think in some ways it can be the same thing.
Okay. Do you want to share your confusion? I want to hear a little bit.
Sure. So it's maybe it is confusion, but what it feels like to me is conflict between. I always feel pulled in the spiritual direction and the intellectual direction, and I want them to be united, but they're always opposing in my life. So you sing that song and it is peaceful and it touches me in a way that often prayer can't. Community can, and being with a group of people, but reciting prayers has never had the effect I want it to have on me in the way that a song like that can. That it feels so personal and it's very like a holistic view of God and prayer and what what we pray to. At the same time, I know what I was taught in Hebrew school. I know what I was told God was in Hebrew school. I know that I'm so used to using the masculine pronouns talking about God that I have a gut reaction that I can't really articulate that just kind of stops me from fully committing to spirituality and letting myself just say, yes, I can experience spirituality in whatever way it comes to me, in whatever form, to whatever God or being or essence or peace. But there's some Jewish guilt, I think.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah, that tells me no. What you were taught is that, and I didn't grow up religiously, really, but I went to Hebrew school, and there's always been something telling me that my religion, that Judaism maybe isn't my religion. It's something. It's a huge part of me, but it's not my religion, meaning I can't pray to the God I was told to pray to. And that's the conflict for me.
Over there.
It's really interesting. In this conversation, I think part of what's fascinating is, what separates people in this room than the ones going to, the Orthodox, maybe conservative opinion. I actually think if you look at, even our own texts, the confusion around, who we're praying to, that's actually a big part of the Jewish tradition. Just if you look at the way God is referred to as Elohim, Adonai, El, there's, a bunch of different names for it. If you look at the original creation story, after Adam and Eve eat the fruit, God actually says, now they're like us, as opposed to now they're like me. There's confusion there. It's sewn into our very being. What I think is interesting, where really the guilt a lot of time comes from, is this idea this isn't a pure Jewish experience we're having. A guy on a guitar singing like he's a folk singer from the 60s. And I think there's a real question. I know,